copper networks to digital fiber networks. Of course, when I say copper networks, they are also digital copper networks these days. They are transforming how they are competing with fiber-like technologies or fiber technologies. So we would like to share our experiences, especially the lessons learned during our implementation or consultancy, and so that the people can learn, understand the issues, challenges, and how the problems are resolved. So at the same time, my respected customer is with me so that they can acknowledge what are endorsements we have given. So it's like sharing the thoughts with us, with you guys, and at the same time exchanging the ideas. So we know, if anybody asks, the first question about I'm going to ask you is which one is the greatest technology out of your copper and fiber? So everybody say answer, yes, fiber is the greatest technology without any hesitation. We know that because fiber is giving many benefits compared to the copper. So maybe out of 10 people, 3 to 4 people will say, yeah, still copper can give you some good benefits, but fiber is the superior technology. But however, let's have a look at the telecommunications industry, how it moved from copper. So copper, we know, it's been almost a decade now. So it's been a century now. It's been last 4 to 5 decades, it's getting transformed. But it's in century, the network age is century in most of the countries. So it's not only a long-term copper network, at the same time it has created benefits for the telecom operators since beginning of Graham Bell invented the telephone, or when he patented the telephone on the copper networks, copper lines. So it created like really best benefits to the operators. But however, let's have a look at the telephone, where the copper telephone actually, how it started, or where exactly you see the copper network is available. So when the telecommunications started a century ago, the 10% was in backbone networks connecting between Boston to New York, where Graham Bell invented his first telephone line when he made a call using copper networks. So that was the NLD, national long distances, and then international long distances. 10% and 10% in metro cities, and remaining 80% is the access. So that's again built with copper networks. So ideally, the copper used to be 10%, and remaining 80% in access. So the conversion has started actually, if you see the conversion, how it went on. It started from converting fiber, actually taken a replacement of the copper, how it taken the replacement from your backbones, backends, it has taken the replacement, and then it went to the metro cities, metro national long distances. It replaced with your fiber networks, then slowly fiber got into the metro cities in form of metro Ethernet networks or metro fiber networks. Then now slowly, with the introduction of FTTH, fiber to the home, or FTTX, it's moving to even in the access networks. So that means the 80% of the copper network, what we have seen so far, is slowly transforming to the fiber networks. The fiber is taking replacement of the copper. Because the fiber is giving numerous benefits, that's the reason the fiber is going to be superior technology. So at the same time, we would like to have a look, we would like to examine some of the technical challenges, or how the technology has been evaluated. So we are going to examine 3 major technologies, you can see out of here. So these 3 major technologies are fixed technologies, we know. Although the third cable network is not interest of our topic today, but remaining 2 copper networks. We know how the copper has been transformed from the beginning of DSL, providing connectivity on the copper networks, traditional telephone POTS networks, providing digital broadband services with the ADSL, 2+, VDSL, and now the situation, at the moment, the current copper situation is with VDSL vectoring, and VDSL vectoring slowly transforming to V+. We know Nokia has developed very good solutions on the V+, and it's been tried by some of the major operators like British Telecom in UK and some other operators. So slowly we are moving towards the G.fast, and one of the biggest operator in Australia, NBN, they are trialing G.fast, next generation fast technologies to provide greater benefits, provide higher digital broadband over copper local loop. That means the copper networks, the technologies are getting evaluated, are reborn the technologies to sustain with the copper networks. Although fiber is taking its own path, fiber is moving towards the replacement of the copper with the fiber ATN PON, GPON or broadband PON, or next generation PON, 40G PON, 100G PON. So different forms of the passive optical network is moving with the fiber, but still copper is able to sustain or is able to provide these services. Why the copper is able to make this happen? Of course, with the next technology, what we can see is the cable technology. It's actually, people thought of copper is gone now because fiber is taking over with the form of a fiber to the home, fiber to the X. So copper is going to dead. But copper actually is not dead, it's reborn with new innovations, new ideas to make it happen. Because copper has been there since long time for the operators, for telecommunications, or communication service providers. That is one of the reasons copper is taking reshape. At the same time, cable also came into picture. Your traditional cable TV operators started providing broadband services over the cable networks to compete with these superior technologies of fiber to the home, or FTTH, GPON, or copper DSL, or G.fast. So in the form of, we can see DOCSIS 1, 1.1, 2, 3.0. Now the 3.1 is under deployments, under tests and trials to provide 1 Gbps broadband to each user. So that's the way the technologies, three major technologies are evaluating its own way to provide services to the end users. Of course, there are other technologies. You got microwave, you got LTE, you got RF technologies. Still, they are taking their own path. But however, our interest is to focus on the copper or fiber. Now let's have a look at the copper, how traditionally they moved. So if you take your exchange is one side, the customer is somewhere, your end user is somewhere. The traditional network was with pure copper networks using the ADSL technology, ADSL or ADSL2 sometimes. So the distances, the major catch in the slide is the distance. The distance, you can see it supports ideally, theoretically, between 1500 meters to 2000 meters. That means 1.5 kilometers to 2 kilometers. But when I worked with the operator, even I installed the DSL services even over 3.5 kilometers in India. So the DSL, that way, it supported broadband connections to the end users. But fiber, when it started taking over, it slowly started replacing the form of fiber to the cabinets by cutting down the distances, by shortening the distances, so that the digital services can be improved, higher bandwidth can be provided. The next form is the fiber to the cabinet, where you can see the distance between 1000 meters to 1500 meters, theoretically. But practically, it may differ between countries to countries. So, but theoretically it is. It may provide more bandwidth compared to your DSL services, or 24 megabits per second from ADSL 2 plus to VDSL or VDSL 2 up to 50 Mbps for download speeds. Next form is the fiber to the node, where you have your VDSL 2 is getting into vectoring. So VDSL 2 crosstalk cancellations using vectoring or pair bonding. At the same time, you got VDSL V plus with a 35 megahertz profile. Using the 35 megahertz profile, you got your V plus networks, where the copper can still sustain to provide such a fiber-like bandwidth using this technology. The next one is of course, the copper. Now the trend is moving towards mix between the copper and fiber. So you got fiber is taking the fiber way using the PON architectures, GPON or GPON, most of the time GPON networks. When you use that, so you got your splitters on the ground, and using the splitters and still fiber, copper is able to take advantage of that fiber in the form of FTTDP. That's nothing but G.fast or next generation fast. Still, your copper is still able to make it. Why still copper is preferred option? Why fiber is not preferred option? Because the last mile, that last 100 meters or 200 meters or 250 meters, whatever you prefer, the last mile is the one of the critical or challenging area for the fiber. So copper is able to complement that last mile. That is the reason copper is still live. It's making greater benefits to the operators. So Now my question is, will really fiber going to replace the copper? That means fiber is killing the copper, because many industry people, they say copper is killed, no more copper. Fiber is only one way. Yes, of course, fiber is going to be only one way after 30 years, but still copper has been there since long time, since decade, since century. So the operators invested like anything in the copper. So the question is the fiber is completely going to replace the copper? Is the question, but however, no. The answer is fiber and copper, they both coexist. Either in any form. The forms we have already seen so far. When the fiber was introduced, FTTH or FTTX has been introduced 10 to 15 years ago. So everybody thought copper is going to die. But now the situation is slowly transforming. Copper is regaining its own technologies to provide bandwidth or higher bandwidth digital services. So the conclusion for the fiber and copper battle is they are going to coexist, at least for a couple of years, so that copper investments, what are gone inside on the ground, will be coming back in terms of the return on investments for the operators or communication service providers. So having said that, I'm going to give you some case on this scenario, how we helped one of the operator in Asia Pacific. The operator is Telecom Fiji. So how we helped to transform your traditional copper, or get the benefits from traditional copper while you do this work and introduce the fiber to the home. Because there are two situations we can say. One is the green fields, where you directly go with fiber rolling out everywhere, wherever you want. But the operators, incumbent operators, they invested the money on the copper, so still they have to go with that. So this is the key challenge, how you transform your copper to fiber. Getting fiber is easy, but transforming from copper to fiber is not easy as per our experience. So that experience today I'm going to share with you. So the copper program, what we worked on was the copper rehabilitation and the refurbishment of copper and slowly introducing the fiber. Actually, when we worked on this project, the need for the management need, the telecommunications operator need was to address existing or some issues related to the coverage or footage area. Copper was there, fiber was slowly getting introduced, but still there are some areas, some footage was not covered, was not addressed. Still you got a demand there, broadband demand, it was not covered. So when we worked on the copper rehabilitation, we focused one of the area where the areas were not covered. The second one is the support alternative flexible deployments. So as I mentioned, the last mile between 250 meters to the customer premises equipment, the last mile challenge, especially in MDUs, multi-dwelling units, in high-rise buildings where you got big apartments or flats. That's one of the challenging area where the copper rehabilitation is helped the operator to quickly, flexibly run these services, deploy the services. The next one, the address was to address the powering issues. Especially, we know the industry, telecom industry, the active equipments are most of the time dependent on the power utilities. So this has been a big issue. This has been a very common issue for the operators of the power, how they supply the power, how they support the power. Sometimes when I worked with operators way back, there was no power, there was no broadband. There was no, and if there are any thunderstorms or anything, power was gone for 24 hours and no broadband was there. The way the power was complementing the broadband, it was supporting. So now, without having those power requirements, how do you get copper rehabilitation without power? So that's another one of the need when we work with operator. Then ability to provide fiber-like services, although it's copper. People mindset, people's, my operator's impression was, okay, it's copper. How it's going to work for me? Is that going to provide fiber services? So that was one of the questions that we faced when customer came to us. So that's another challenge we are going to address in the rehabilitation. We address in the rehabilitation. Then, of course, this is the biggest advantage: rapid deployment. Customer wants service yesterday, not today, not tomorrow. He wants service yesterday. So how do you address yesterday's service? So that's one of the rapid deployment we addressed here. And support operational and services issues, especially copper. When customer was on a live network, when you are doing your rehabilitation and you are reforming your copper networks to address high capacity, high speed broadband networks, still you need to take care of your customer. He should not be disappointed, or should not get annoyed by disturbing of the services. So support your existing system services or operational support systems. How still they manage, how still they drive to the customer satisfaction. So these are some of the quality, these are some of the needs for the hour when we work with the customer. Of course, these are key needs. There are other elements, deployment methods, especially the green fields or brown fields. How do you mix the green and brown? At the same time, how do you mix aerial networks to the underground networks? Whether you go with the duct networks or you go with aerial, which one is the fastest way you need to go, or which one is the longest safe way to go with. So there are other key elements. Of course, today we are going to focus on these different elements. So before I jump into the real time, the situation of the project, so I would like to introduce my respected customer, Telecom Fiji. So I have the planning officer, Agnes Prasad Pillai with me. She's going to give some idea about Telecom Fiji, what is about their company.
Thank you.
Pula from the islands of Fiji. I'm Agnes from Telecom Fiji. We are a beautiful country in the Pacific Ocean, and we have just started rolling out fiber to the home. Cyient is our key partner in the deployment of fiber, and they are a great solution provider for fiber to the home technology. Cyient is assisting Telecom on the fiber and GIS design and implementation. We are so glad to have Cyient as our key partners for the deployment projects in Fiji. Thank you.
Thanks, Agnes. Thank you very much for giving some heads up on your company. So I would like to give you some ideas. So when the Telecom Fiji, see, they were relying on the copper, but so when they learned that fiber can provide more services, better services, and they make still ahead of number one, ahead of the competition, they can make them number one position. So they wanted to make the fiber into the ground, but at the same time they don't want to lose the copper because they invested like anything on the copper. And even the advanced technologies of multiplexes that are VDSL2 vectoring multiplexes from different vendors, they already made a lot of investment in that. They don't want to lose, but they want to go with fiber in the future. So that was the need for the operator. And at the same time, they want to ensure customer is not disappointed. Live customer who is already connected to the network is going to be still happy with the quality of service. So that was the need for the operator. So I would like to give you a bit background how we started with this customer. So before I give a background, I would like to thank Fiber to the Home Council. Yeah, actually, we met this customer in 2015 Fiber to the Home Council event, and we exchanged our ideas. We met Telecom Fiji management, the event, and that was the actual platform to exchange our ideas, how we help the operators in resolving the problems. So that was the base, that was the start point, and then we slowly started exchanging our ideas, and management expressed their need, their challenges, how they want to transform. So after that, what we did, we exchanged some of our cases, our experiences. Then we had some presentations from India, from Australia to Fiji, and then we went for some meetings. Then further, we wanted to do a study. We said we will do a study, we will understand what your challenges are. Then we deployed actually our senior experienced communications consultants who can understand the copper, fiber. It's not only just a technology, it's something about to do with systems. So how your system supports. Do you have anything, can you make anything on the automation, making these things happen? So those areas, we especially, who are specialized in those areas, we deployed such consultants on the ground. And actually, thanks to Telecom Fiji, because they extended a lot of support. Their operational teams, even though despite of having a lot of challenges, addressing their subscribers' needs, still they helped us to understand the challenges on the ground. So another point I would like to mention here is the Fiji is being an island. The ground conditions are different from the other conditions. That's another challenge where the fiber or copper deployment was a key. So there are some other issues. Of course, cyclones is another area, another biggest issue in the country. So how do you ensure that your broadband infrastructure is sustained with those cyclones? So those kind of other parameters were required to be considered when we did our consultancy. So during our consultancy, during our study, so we realized 4 key challenges, 4 key issues. We combined those challenges. Of course, there are many other challenges, but 4 key challenges are mainly focused on technology. 1, that process is the 2. Third one is the skill set of or no knowledge, how to do the job was the third one, and 4th one was the systems. So when I say systems, it includes the testing tools also. So I'm going to give you some idea actually how we brought some of the ecosystem partners for the operator to solve the problems. So if I focus on the technology side, technology challenges, the key was the interoperability. Customer was having legacy multiplexes. I can say ADSL multiplexes since a long time. ATM multiplexes, asynchronous transfer mode multiplexes. Now customer got new multiplexes with VDSL 2 vectoring multiplexes. The problem when it was started deploying these multiplexes, when rehabilitation happened, they wanted to cut down the copper distances and introduce the fiber. When it happened, the interoperability was the biggest issue. Especially the customer premises equipments, the modems, the routers, CPEs are not really able to synchronize your multiplexes because of the different profiles. And the issue was like, it's not only that the operation systems were deployed long back, those systems are not able to really understand the new technologies. That means they are not geared up to get these new multiplexes or new technologies. So the other one is the cutover. When the copper cutover happened, really customer was having some issues on the placement of the cabinets, placement of your new multiplexes. Do you place at central location, or do you place it somewhere in the corner, or do you place in the top of the mast? Where do you place? The placement became an issue in terms of the physical and technological related activities. So there are other areas where the technical challenges and especially quality of service, QoS, become a big issue. Customer, the moment you started deploying your VDSL multiplexes, customer started calling customer care. My connection is down, I'm not able to browse, my sites are not opening, or slow speeds, slow internet, it's not broadband, it's just a narrow band kind of stuff came up when they started doing this kind of issues. The next one is the process challenges. Of course, the process was the biggest concern for the operator. Being an operator, they have a lot of different teams, from your field to your operations team, your planning team, and your customer support team, your network operations center NOC team, and different teams coordination. And there was no integrated process which would tell you where you have to start, where you have to end. Everybody having their own start to end process, but there was no correlation between the start to end multiple processes. So that was another issue. And especially communication became a biggest issue. Communication between the teams. They don't, of course, they work together, but they don't talk each other. Every team say, yes, this is my job, I've done my job. I don't know, this is something NOC team job. I don't know, this is something field engineering job. So the teams core communication became a big issue over there. And of course, the next one is the urgency to deploy. Management taking a decision. We will deploy, we will roll out very high speed VDSL multiplexes so that we can give good bandwidth to customers. That the decision came up from the management board, but actually when it came to the deployment, it became an issue for the process. Next, third category, if you look at the skill set challenge, the skill set was biggest issue. Why? New multiplexes are in place, our VDSL vectoring multiplexes are in place, but the staff, the technical team, the staff were having lack of skills. How to make it happen? How to integrate your multiplexes? Or how do you make a fiber bringing to your closer to your customer? So know-how knowledge was missing over there. Are kind of trainings, skill sets. Sometimes, they were in touch with the vendors who provided the technology or who provided the multiplexers, but vendor, sorry, my scope is so and so. So vendors, of course, we know how vendors work based on the scopes. So they say sorry. So that was another issue on the training side or certification side. So best practices. Another one is the best practice. What is the best practice? Should I do today, tomorrow, or I should have done yesterday? So the best practice was missing, know-how knowledge was missing, skill sets were missing, and the training and certifications were missing. The conference, basically the conference, out of all these things, the conference was missing. Like, I can provide better services to my subscriber. That conference was missing over there in terms of the skill set challenges. The next one is the systems and tools. The systems, especially, as I explained, over the period, operator deployed very sophisticated systems. Sometimes he deployed very high-end systems. And systems have taken place into the network since a long time, and there is no correlation. You don't believe, actually, the operations team works in a different system, the planning team works in another system. Generally, as our experience, these two systems should be correlated so that your planning network, planning information should come to the operations. Operations will use the information. But unfortunately, the operator, they are silos. There is no correlation. So systems are that. Same time, because multi-vendors have introduced their equipments, their network operations center related or their NMS network management systems, the single management or manager of the manager of the networks was missing out of this entire chain. And the next one is the copper testing tools. They invested a lot of money in buying the testing tools, very big testing tools. We really surprised when we went to their warehouse. We have seen very good testing tools, but the idea was not using the tools. They were in the warehouse, lying very in a good condition, but they were not even know how to utilize them, how to get the benefits of the tools. So that was another area where it was missing. So at the same time, management requested, we want to go with fiber to the home. How do we make it? So the fiber to the home, so they started rolling out. When we went to the network, when we had deployed our engineers, our consultants, fiber started already, they are doing it. When we asked their general managers, everybody said, yeah, we are doing fiber to the home, don't worry about that. Oh, very great. You're having, one side you are having issues with the copper, unable to make your customer happy, but other side you are already rolling out the fiber. So then we talked to management, we want to have a look at the fiber to the home. When we looked at the fiber to the home, you can see the first point, to proceed for the copper rehabilitation. Because one area, one side, copper rehabilitation is happening, fiber is also getting there, fiber is also going. That means the kind of program management, the idea, the complete plan was missing. So what was missing is, they are going wherever they wanted, but there was no plan. There was no national plan exists in the network. So that's another area, and of course there are other optimists. The decision was not there. Whether you still go with copper rehabilitation, or you stop doing rehabilitation, or you want to scrap your copper network and directly go with the greenfield fiber network, that kind of decision was missing. The leadership was missing over there. So, having said that, these are the challenges. Of course, there are other key challenges, but these are the four different key challenges when I club together some of the areas. So, having said that, how we helped the operator, how we provided our solutions to the operator, I'm going to give you some idea. So before I really get into the solutions, I would like to introduce my company here, so that you get idea of what we do.
We live in an exciting world where science and technology change our lives faster than ever before. To succeed, businesses need to find new ways to be flexible and keep up with these changes. That's where we come into play. We add our inventive spirit to empower our customers to do more, to do better together. We use our knowledge and expertise to enhance our customers' business. Sometimes our contribution concentrates on a specific technical challenge, and sometimes we design entire systems that pave the way for a better future. But they always enable something bigger to happen. Over the course of 20 years, we have grown from our roots as a geospatial company in India to a global enabler in engineering, networks, and operational services. We are more than 12,000 associates, and we work right across the globe with our customers and partners. From Seattle to Sydney, we work creatively to solve the most complex problems across a wide range of industries. From toothbrushes to phone networks to aircraft engines, we deliver results and improve people's everyday lives. We call this designing tomorrow together. Together with our customers, we design aircraft engines that are quieter and more fuel efficient, resulting in less pollution and more relaxed passengers and crew. Improved data enables our customers to make tomorrow's maps more precise, so that millions of people can be brought home more quickly and more safely. We design and create intelligent systems to monitor complex telecom networks, so that there are fewer dropped calls, clearer hellos, and just more smiles. Our engineers collaborate with our customers to create an automated signalling system to get more Londoners to work on time and give sports fans more time for fun at the London Olympics. We help design, deploy, and manage next-generation electricity networks. So if the grid goes down, then power returns more quickly so everyone can continue watching their favorite television show. We work as part of their teams, so our skills and processes fit seamlessly into their organizations. And that's why 98% of our business comes from existing customers. But we aren't complacent. Each time we work with our customers, we gain even greater trust. The more we do, the more they trust us. We call this the virtuous circle. Wherever the future takes us, developing long-term relationships and designing for a better tomorrow will be at the heart of how we work and what we do. This way of working makes us special. This has been our untold story. Designing tomorrow together is our vision. Welcome to Cyient.
So the solutions what we provided are summarized over here. So to improve the quality of service and to enhance customer experience, quality of experience, QoE, we have concluded the solution with these five different elements. So as I explained, the know-how knowledge was missing, our leadership was missing in the operators network, the operators environment. So we wanted to deploy a senior program manager who can tell, who can direct, or who can guide, suggest the operator to go what, to do what, when, why. So to give know-how knowledge, to give process knowledge, to give technical knowledge. So we deployed one of the senior, around 35 years experienced consultant to at least to start addressing the current challenges. Then next one was the deployment of copper and fiber testing tools. So we have identified some of the testing tools. The need, especially when the copper network rehabilitation was happening, the need was to test the bulk copper cables, not single pair. Bulk copper cables required to be tested, certified, analyzed, then connected back to your new cabinets. So we identified some of the ecosystem partners with us who can provide bulk copper pair testing or fiber testing tools, and then we recommended those tools as a part of the program. Then deployment of automated data capture. So if you see the countries like, even in India, so the geographical information system, the data, whatever is available, is not complete. It's not even accurate. The same situation in the country of Fiji. So even there was no land-based no data what was there on the ground. So we proposed a solution, an automation solution, which would capture the data digitally. Whenever you go on the field, capture the data, transform the data back to your systems using the mobile-based pads or mobile-based tablets. So that's another area we focused during our consultancy phase. Then next one is the deployment of field queue management solution. See, especially the teams when they are working in the field, when they were rehabilitating the networks, when they want to address customer challenges, the biggest area was reporting the information back to the customer care, because the customer always keeps in touch with the customer care. He wants to know, before customer calls up the customer care should be able to give information back to customer saying that your connection is going to come so-and-so time, or you will be provided so-and-so bandwidth by the time. So that information was having a lot of issues. lacking, the information was lacking from the field, and field crews were unable to make it happen because they were working very hard in the field to make the rehabilitation complete as per management guidelines, timelines. So what we did, we provide a consultancy on the field crew management, how it would help the field people to capture the data automatically, to auto scheduling, auto tasking, multitasking, multi-day multitasking, how it ensures that the field crew benefited between the customer case and to field teams. Next solution what we given is the consulting solution on how do you make the fiber to the home. You want to make fiber to the home directly, or you want to make fiber to the X slowly, or you want to go directly fiber to the villas, fiber to the resorts, because the Fiji is very famous for resorts, villas. So how do you deploy your solutions, especially inside the buildings, whether you take the fibers or still you go with the copper existing. So that's another area we provided solutions for this. So to summarize, so with our consultancy, we help the operator, especially in deploying the solutions, proposing the enhancements, or proposing the solutions or systems. So some of the areas I would like to highlight here. So you can see that some of the copper bulk pair testing tools. So these are some of the tools with our partners, we identified partners locally. So we told them these are the issues. We connected them to customer. See, customer is having, of course, we don't deal with this kind of stuff, but we connected them to customer, saying that, see, these guys can provide these many things. You can figure out whose solutions they are. So we connected them to customer. We told them, see, you can directly get in touch with them to understand your problem. So we integrated these tools as part of our program management. So some of the other area, one of the issue, when the field engineers, field crew were working on the ground, their hands were muddy, their hands were dirty. They can't even operate phones like smartphones like this. They can't operate. They need some ruggedized tablets to capture the data. So that was one of the challenge. So we provided some of the solutions on the tablets to capture the data. And recommendations on the skill sets. We have given recommendations. We have given worldwide global skill set partners who can provide their certifications, or who can bring the knowledge, know-how knowledge, who can make you to connect with other vendors or other industry experts to share their knowledge. So we have given recommendations. You can see Fiber to the Home Council, also one of the platform over there. And of course, this next solution, the solution what we digital data capture from the field. You can since it has the flexibility to integrate with any system, it can directly capture the data and put the data back to your systems. Customer was having the GTech technology system, so we directly given a solution to get connected to the system. And the next field crew management system, you can see that you can do auto scheduling, auto tasking, dispatch, messaging, work tickets, and auto multitasking using field crew management system. So consulting on the other fiber to the home solutions and making one national plan before you get deployed, before network gets deployed, you need to make a plan. You need to have a tactical decisions when you want to roll out, or where is your focused area, where is your service area, how do you make this happen to get maximum return on investment. So we have given consultancy on that area. So those are the areas we focused, we helped the operator, and now still we are going with the customer, providing more and more solutions. So that's the story of us. So only thing, one point I would like to highlight before I conclude, how we delivered this, very simple. We have not done any great job with the customer. We just work with customer closely. That's the only one great job we did. Working collaboratively with our customer made a success of the customer, at the same time given benefits to their end subscribers. So that's the approach we followed with this customer. You can have a look at that. After successful of the deployment, we have a photograph. Just wanted to show you. So that's it from our side. Any questions, I'm happy to take. Thank you. I'm available next door. We have a booth next door. Please visit, come and visit. Have more discussions if you are interested to understand the solutions. Thank you very much. And thanks to Capacity Media, thanks to Fiber to the Home Council and the board.